All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well. I hope everyone's staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Welcome to our Age of Sigmar Soulbound playthrough with the playtesters, myself, Andrew, and Ash, and our good friend DJ. We'll be playing through the mortal realms and taking on some perilous quests and fighting some gruesome enemies, and generally trying to have a damn good time while doing so. So, we'll go through, we'll introduce the players and their characters to start with, and DJ, we'll go with you first, mate.
Oh, okay.
No worries. Hi there, I'm DJ. I'm playing Oberon Thunderfist of the Raven Peak Mists. He's a knight incantor from the Lions of Sigmar Chamber. Chamber's the right word? Yeah, sure, why not? And yeah, so his main sort of talents seem to be hitting things with a large stick and casting magic.
Awesome. And Ash?
Yeah, so I'm playing Kadir Al-Kathar. He's a bright mage from Asperia in the Flamescar Plateau in Akshi. He's sort of been he's quite well renowned now for his use of fireball in battle. He's a flaming wizard that has a phoenix spirit companion who aids him throughout his journey, and he's grown quite an affinity with his spirit companion. So he's got a few spells that can enhance his ability and also enhance the ability of the party.
Awesome. And lastly, Andrew?
Yep, I am Tiara Brightstone from a little village in Haish. She is a trade pioneer, Duarden, reasonably young compared to other Duarden. Doesn't have any of the flash exciting stuff that some of our compatriots have, but she's holding her own at the moment, so I think we're doing pretty well.
Awesome. So we'll get the players to go through a little bit of a recap on what's been happening in the campaign. So we'll get Ash to do it today. You're up with giving us a recap of the last story arc of where we're going.
Yeah. So the last time we met was a little while ago, so it's a little bit foggy in the memories. There's been some time has passed, unfortunately, between when we were able to record last. But from what I can recall, we started the session just outside the city of Hallowforge, and where we were looking out over the city. We could see the Scumport. We could see the city being assailed by an enemy force. It looked like they were Ratkin. Some Skaven forces charging into the cities, and we had to make a decision on which path to take, and we just decided after some deliberation to lead our way into the city around over the Everpeak. Now the Everpeak is sort of renowned for its weather conditions being less than ideal due to the god beast Aquatine, who's living at or is allegedly living at the top of the mountain. No one's seen her in many a year. And so following that path, we managed to head into the city, making a glorious arrival, myself on the back of Icarus, and Oberon Thunderfist sort of appearing in a flash of lightning in the middle of the crowd, in the middle of the town square. So that was pretty epic. And then we met Commander Berrickson and one of the city guards, Anvil, who they had a task for us to clear out some dungeons that were under the city. So we headed into these dungeons, found some oddly robed figures who were wearing some masks, and so we dealt with them relatively smartly, and then we took one of their masks and brought it back up to Anvil, and he started regaling us a little bit about the rumors of a cult that were in the underground of the city, the Burning Eye cult, and He talked about the last hero that had dealt with this Cult of the Burning Eye being a Forsaken hero who used an artifact to get rid of them. And he hasn't been seen for a long time. So that's kind of where we got to. We were on our way back to meet up with Commander Berrickson. We got a little bit of information about this threat that is on the edge of the city.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. I think where we're going to go to next is we're going to skip forward in the storyline a little bit. So the battle has sort of waged its way, and the Stormcast have seen the Ratkin off from the city of Hallowforge, and now you are all able to sort of ponder over this mask and try and piece together some answers of what you might be facing and try and find some answers within the city of Hallowforge. So you've already made arrangements and you've been here before, so you've got some room set aside in the Happy Hunter Inn. A giant sun sits on the logo of this inn, which is just sort of a bit of irony to the people within the town, the city of Hallowforge, as Hallowforge is always raining. The mood is generally anything but happy in Hallowforge most of the time. It's a gloomy sort of town or city. And so the Happy Hunter Inn, you have some lodgings in one of the upper stories of the building where you're sort of sectioned off from the rest. It's mostly like very wealthy sort of people that occupy these higher lodgings within the inn. You're about three stories up. And this is where you sort of can make your base of operations. You have food provided for you every day, and you also have free access to both the library that you know of here and the Order of Azir do know of your presence within the city now. So, we know you have the mask, and you also, one most important item that you have is you have the giant spherical sort of thing that you're pretty sure is some sort of eye.
Yeah, so I did want to take out this Eye of Gujarak and just take a bit of a closer look at it. I don't know if I can investigate it or maybe check an Arcana check or see if it's got any extra abilities that I've not been tapping into, because I don't think I've actually done that yet to see if it's got any sort of power in that it is a remnant shard of a god beast. It may have some kind of powers. An Arcana test would certainly be fine with this. Cool. Would that be a Mind Arcana check?
Yep, we'll go Mind Arcana, just sort of trying to find any sort of magical properties within the artifact.
Cool.
Before you do, Kadir, I've also got a little bit of training in Arcana, so I'd like to lend my assistance to you, see if my Stormcast eyes can see something that I might know of as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll give you an extra...
so is that a help action?
Of the thing? Yeah, a help action.
Let me just double check how we use that one. I've got the...
Yeah. It's been a while. I've forgotten the name of the actual thing. But yes.
Oh, it's all right. That's all right.
All right.
Actions help. Adds 1 d6 to the next test they make.
Yeah.
Plus an additional d6 per level of training you have in the skill use. So have you got training 1?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Okay, cool. So I get an extra 2 d6. Hell yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
So just tell me how many 4+ you get.
Sure. Cool. So I've got 4 4+.
Cool. So as you're sort of bending down, you've put it on like a stool in the middle of the room, just trying to study it from all angles. It's not necessarily perfectly round. It's sort of slightly eggish in shape. Just ever so slightly eggish in its shape. And it's got this pupil in the middle that no matter where you go, it just sort of like follows you around this. It is looking at you. It's quite clear. As you sort of go from one side, it follows around and you can't see anything different because it just turns to be the face.
So I might make a mind lore check to see if I can recall anything about this sort of thing, this item, anything that jumps to mind.
Yep. I was going to say, I've also got some training in lore if you'd like some assistance.
Yeah. Well, it's so will that give me one more?
That'd be another 2 dice. 2 dice. Because I've got training as well.
Okay. All right. So that's a 3, 2 4s, a 6, and a 1.
Yep. So you know, like the tales of Gusharak, like all of you have been told these tales before because it's sort of imperative to your quest to see the pieces of him attained for the forces of order. That like he was split up in many pieces, and like generally the strongest parts of Gusharak were the ones hidden away that weren't able to be destroyed by the Pantheon of Order, or the Pantheon, rather.
Okay.
So you would guess that this is most certainly like something is more significant about this particular eye. If it's a part of Gusharak that hasn't been able to be destroyed, there's something more to it. There's got to be something more to it than just it's a normal eye that he sees with. There's got to be more to it than just that.
Maybe we need to take it to someone within the city to see if they can tap into its power, and we can gain that knowledge. Maybe because we know that we have some contacts with the Order of Azir. Have we had contact with them in the time whilst we've been away?
Yeah, so they most certainly would have had some contacts for you regarding fights within the sewers, and also, you know, you are agents of Sigmar and the Pantheon himself, so they sort of will. Some of them will do what they can. The Order of Azir is a rather fractured sort of group that doesn't always see eye to eye within its own ranks, but you know there will probably be some of them that will most certainly help. And we'll get anyone who, because you've all been in the city before, someone can make just a general mind test to sort of recall any form of knowledge.
Just the one success for me.
Is it 4s?
Yeah, just 4s up.
So 2 successes.
Yep. So, if you have any training in lore and stuff, you can apply that to your test as well.
Okay.
2 successes.
3 successes.
Awesome.
3 successes.
So, you know that the major sort of ruling party of the city is the Council of 100, the 100 seats of Hallowforge. So Hallowforge has 100 seats, which are effectively the highest ranked seats. You have at the head of the seat, you have the highest ranked official, so generally the city's governor, appointed by Sigmar himself, or generally the Lord Celestant in the Stormkeep within the city for the Stormhost within the city. Will appoint a governor of the city, and he is generally the most higher ranked official. This Council of 100 also features like many of the major sort of parties within the city. So the Collegiate Arcane, the Cainite cults have seats within it, to like all sorts of things. To even particular, there is the 101 seat, which is the most interesting. Yes, I said 100 seats, but there's 101 because there is a seat for the Scumport.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
That technically has no place on the council and has no power, but sits in regardless.
Okay.
do they actually attend, or is it like an empty seat?
It's an empty seat.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Most people know it's empty.
Do we know if there's a gathering of the council happening in the near future that we can attend and try and lobby them for some information?
There happens to be a seating of the council on the third moon of every passing month. So luck would have it, that's only a day away. So tomorrow night.
Oh.
Cool. Should we
so-
go and have a drink whilst we wait for that then?
I was going to say, are they open sessions that like the public can watch from the galleries, or?
Generally, they are closed sessions, so you may need to find a way to obtain. Although it might, you'll need to find a way to get access in.
maybe if we lobby Commander Berrickson for the work we did for clearing out the sewers, he might allow us to come in and either listen or speak.
That's whether or not he has a seat on it, but yes.
Mm.
Well, I'm sure. If not, I'm sure he knows someone who's got enough influence and enough pull.
I feel like Anvil would have a seat.
Either that, or we just nominate ourselves for the Scumport seat and just.
Yeah,
through.
that's true. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, yeah, maybe we go and have a chat with Commander Berrickson.
Yep. I mean, you've spent a couple of days now within the city. You know that Commander Berrickson is quite easily within the city barracks.
Cool. We'll head over there.
So that's pretty. So you're going to exit down the stairs and go out the Happy Hunter Inn and try and make your way to the barracks?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Awesome. So you're going down these sort of like, it's a giant winding sort of staircase of like the Happy Hunter Inn is like a very weird sort of structure in that it's very, very thin and very tall. It's about 6 or so stories high, and every floor just people don't understand how this thing manages to stay up in the wind, but somehow it does. But like most free cities, once they put their walls up, they generally don't build outwards, they build upwards. And so more and more floors keep getting added to this inn. And so you go down the couple of sets of flights that you need to, these very tight, compact staircases that poor Oberon barely fits down. In fact, he's not able to wear his full plate armor down them. So has to be in a much more lightly armored form to actually get down these stairs.
It's a good look on you, Oberon.
Yeah.
It's very slimming.
And as you get down, you can see the bottom floor is a lot larger than any of the upper floors. It seems like a lot more open as you get down to the bottom floor of the Happy Hunter, and you can see that there's a lot of people already in there drinking and talking, smoking, and generally enjoying themselves.
I make a point of going over to our host and thanking them for our accommodation.
Your host is a fine old gentleman known as Alfred.
Oh.
And so he's a quite wizened old man. He's got an eye patch over one of his eyes and very thin, receding grey hair on his head. He looks like he's seen quite a few wars.
I will thank Alfred. Thank you very much, Alfred. The accommodations are outstanding.
Pleasure, as always. And he goes, "Do you need any breakfast for the morning?"
That would be delightful.
He goes, "Well, are you going to leave now? Should I have it waiting for when you get back, or?"
Oh, we could probably pull up a table now. We've got the day, don't we?
Yes, I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can take some time. I'll have a fire whiskey.
Fire whiskey. It's We'll see what we've got in stock. I should have some more of that. I've been keeping that bottle aside for you, Kadia.
Thanks, Alfie.
And so you can see him sort of he goes underneath like the bar, obviously like puts something away to make sure it's there for you and no one else gets drinks of it. And you can see him pull out this bright red bottle of it looks like it's on fire. It's an interesting looking liquid, and as he pours this very burning red and orange liquid into a glass and slides you down one across the bar.
Don't know how you drink that stuff.
I take a quick sip, and as I take a sip, there's like sparks like appear on the side of the glass, and I sort of get this like glint in my eye, like of the flame within me.
Oh.
Careful to avoid heartburn.
Yeah, you just feel your insides like just warming up from this liquid as you drink it. Like everything just gets warm.
Tiara just shakes her head.
It would be like drinking a hot soup. It's the perfect way to
delicious.
explain how it does. A quite hot soup. If someone who's not from Akshi's tongue drinks that, they might get a bit more than they bargained for.
Maybe someone from Shimon would be able to deal with it with their cast iron throat, but
maybe. And so
I'll just have a plain old ale.
you see, he's like, just looks up at his ones. He goes, "Oh, this one will do. We got these ones in the other week. These are down from the Thorn Coast."
Excellent.
So, having been in Haliforge, you know the Thorn Coast is just the sort of sea down from Haliforge going down the peninsula. So,
I'll happily sample the local brew.
Always so dull with your ales, Tiara.
Yeah.
Well, at least they don't catch fire when I drink them.
That's the fun.
Uh-huh.
Being a
My lord,
stormcaster,
anything from you?
being a stormcaster, I don't actually eat or drink, so I just shake my head politely and just sort of humor the other two as they go about their married couple bickering.
Go
while they have
on,
drinks.
Oberon. Have some fire whiskey.
That would require me to remove my helmet in front of those who aren't yet blessed by Sigmar. So thank you for your offer, but I shall decline for now.
You do look ridiculous, by the way, wearing your loincloth and helmet.
It's what Sigmar wills.
Yes, he's not quite as heavily armored, but still wearing that helmet.
Yeah.
Helmets still fit down hallways.
I'm imagining it's mostly just like a toga and then a helmet.
And so you can see Alfred then comes back with a plate that's got some what you would assume is Gearox sausage, and some vegetables, some mushrooms, not green ones, mushrooms carefully picked,
Cultivated.
Mushrooms are one of the many things that can be quite dangerous in the mortal realms if you eat the wrong ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mind you, given it rains here all the time, there's probably quite an array of fungi.
Mushrooms are something that are abundance of, and you can generally find most of the mushrooms just lying on the sides of streets.
Is that where you found these ones?
Oh no, we've got a box downstairs that we grow many of our mushrooms in.
Thank you very much. And we'll hoe in. Well, I will.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Sausage and mushrooms.
I try and feed it to Oberon's mask. There you go. There you go. Do it. You didn't do it. Go on.
You can't quite tell. You can't quite
see,
tell.
like,
Maybe
some
glaring at
people-
you.
You can just see like some people's shock at how you were treating a stormcaster. You're just getting these really like jaw-dropped looks from people not quite understanding how a stormcaster is not reprimanding you heavily.
I will sneak a piece of sausage into Scritch. We'll sit on the table and happily munch.
Yeah. You see Alfred just pulls up an ashtray and sort of washes out the ashtray and fills it full of water and puts it in front of Scritch. Yeah, he's quite fond of the little creature.
I pour some fire whiskey into it.
No, you don't.
Is your phoenix going to eat anything, Kadir?
No, Icarus is a spirit companion. He's not required to be sustained by anything other than the magics of the realms themselves. One day I will need to take him back to regain his power, but for now here in Gyron, he's all powered up, ready to go.
Awesome. So
we'll finish off our breakfast and head out.
Yeah, as you all finish off your breakfast and just sort of thank Alfred once again for his hospitality. You're on your way. As he clears your plates, you can be on your merry way. And so you step out into the streets, and as normal, it is raining. Not quite too heavily, just sort of a splutter of rain at the moment. Nothing too overbearing, but rain nonetheless. And you can see the sluices in the sides of the streets, full of water just running down the hill.
I think I glance up to the mountain and see if I can catch a sight of Aquatine at all.
and there's nothing but thick grey clouds. It does look like rather wondrous when you look up, because it's thick grey clouds around the mountain, but you can see out onto like the ocean. It's just clear blue sky, and like down the peninsula, it's just clear blue. It is only around the mountain where these just thick, heavy clouds sit.
We need to get out of this wretched city.
I quite like it. Reminds me of being underground.
Not all of us like being underground.
Well, I didn't live underground, but I quite like it. I guess it's an ancestral memory.
Yeah.
I just pull my lion's helm cloak just up over my shoulders, just listening to them again bickering.
You can see like there's people beginning their morning days. You can see people pulling what look like market stall carts and just pulling like the first, pieces of their work for the day. Like bits of like raw iron are being pulled along by what you assume would be blacksmiths, and just people starting about their day. There's priests going around ringing their bells, and everything is sort of just beginning to come awake in the city.
Cool. So yeah, we head on down to the barracks to meet with Commander Berrickson.
Yep.
So the barracks is downhill, and it's rather quite amazing watching in the city of Halliforge as you see the sluice drains. Everything in the city is downhill, so the way the city works is these sort of open drains in the side of the pathways allow all the rain to gather and just flow out into the ocean.
Otherwise, the streets would be rivers, you would imagine.
Yes. And there's always steps. There's never flat surfaces. Carts are made to go on like these weird sort of ramps down the sides of the city's streets, or otherwise carried by these weird-looking creatures of all manner of different size. You can see this sort of six-legged horse-like creature walking up the streets as its first two legs go up, and it's balancing in a weird way. It's this load of iron, raw iron on its back.
Nothing surprises us anymore.
It's the mortal realms, and it is weird and wonderful. And so you make your way down to the barracks eventually. Just wandering through, you can see the market district beginning to be setting up as you walk past. And you can see that the towering barracks are attached to the front wall of the city that goes out onto the peninsula. And so you can see like there's at the front of it archers training, shooting arrows, and guards just starting their shifts would be taking over from the night. You can see like the swaps of guards happening.
So I imagine we just sort of saunter in like we own the place.
You're with a stormcast. Most people just sort of see a stormcast and don't ask questions.
I keep an eye out for our little friend Anvil as we approaching the barracks. See if I can catch him.
You don't see him on the outside, but as you enter into the inside of the barracks, you can see he's right there.
G'day, Anvil.
Oh, hello, friends. I'm just finishing my shift for the night. I'm going home for some sleep. Maybe a drink first, though.
Was it a quiet shift for you?
It was. Most of the Ratmen have now been seen off, and the skirmishes down in the sewers are becoming less and less frequent as the days go by.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Finding the last pockets of the Ratman resistance.
Well done, loyal Anvil. Enjoy yourself a fine beverage.
Friends, could I ask you to come over into this side room and have a chat with me, please?
Yeah,
of course.
And sort of just
lead the way.
You can see he sort of looks around as he does it, just making sure that no one saw him ask you to come into this room with him. He looks like he's got something he's probably got a secret to tell you, is what you can see, that he doesn't want other people knowing.
Okay, as I'm closing the door behind us into this room, I'll just like glance to see if there's anyone watching.
He's like, so you can see he sort of goes in and like you can see he just like checks the others. You're in like one of the what would be the guard dorms. You can see there's no one else in there, so he quickly rushes down to the end of the bed. You would assume it's his bed.
I'm going to make an intuition check just to read the situation. Do you want mind or soul?
We'll go soul with this one because you're trying to sort of see his emotion.
So I have training and focus and intuition. So a 3, 4, 5. So I'll make the 4 a 5. So that gives me 2 5s and a 3. 2 5s. Yeah.
2 5. Yeah, you trust Anvil completely with the situation. You're just pretty sure he wants only you lot to know about this.
Okay.
You've read the situation. You're like, you completely have trust. He's just being quite calm. He's probably got something important to tell you that he's kept from others. Whether he should or not is beside the point. He feels he can only tell you.
Okay.
Well, he's a loyal servant of Sigmar.
You can see him. He lifts one of the corner of his bed and reaches under and pulls out a bestial mask.
Where did you get that?
Fighting down in the sewers, I got separated from some of the troops I was with and came across this lone cultist, already dead, stabbed. Looked like the Skaven had got to him. Yeah. You can see, like,
did you find anything else on his body apart from the mask?
Yeah, he had a third eye.
Ooh.
He had a third eye.
Like an eye right in the middle of his head.
Did it look magical?
I mean, you see anything like that, it looks magical.
Does the mask have the same like drawings and patterns on the inside of the mask that our one does?
He's got some really weird looking rune markings on the inside. I have no idea what these mean. I remember you asking questions about the Burning Eye cult and thought maybe this could be of some use to you, perhaps, knowing that there might be more answers down in the sewers potentially, but I don't have anything else to know about this.
I was going to say, you've done well, Anvil. If we could take that from you. Does he also have any more keys for exploring the dungeons? Because he gave us that one, but do we need any others?
That should open most sewer gates, at least most main sewer gates. I don't have any other keys that I can give.
Very good. Seeing as you're such a loyal servant of Sigmar and helping us out, I pull out my vial and give him 5 drips.
Oh, I'm having good stuff to drink tonight.
One quick question for you
before
we go, Anvil. Which part of the city were you patrolling when you found this cultist? Whereabouts were you?
Underneath the docks.
Underneath the docks. And was that where we went when we were doing our patrol as well?
No, you were pretty much underneath this sort of section now.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So this cult may be more insidious than we had once thought.
I'll keep an eye out to see if I see anything else. And cults are not the things you want lots of people knowing about.
No, and if you hear any rumors around the town or in the taverns that we should know, we'd be very pleased to hear them from you.
Certainly, my lord.
Yeah. Lord.
Now, if you excuse me, just holding the little vial, little drips,
yeah.
I'm going to go have a good drink tonight.
Enjoy yourself, my friend.
Fire whiskey.
I can recommend
I really wouldn't.
You can see him, he's like not getting, you can see he's getting mixed messages and he doesn't quite understand why is one person telling me one thing and the other telling me another. And so
he's such a simple fellow. Poor Anvil.
The young guardsman just leaves, a little bit of a grin on his face. He's just sort of rolling the vials in his hands, quite eager to have something a bit more than the average beer he would probably have.
Mm.
All right. I guess we head out to the sort of central command center of the barracks and see if we can meet up with Berrickson.
And so you can see, like, you sort of go, you ask one of the many guardsmen, like, which way, and they just quite easily don't hesitate to tell you, oh, no, you just got to go up the left-hand flight of stairs and take a right.
Cool.
They'll take you to, you'll see this big door, it'll have like a big golden plaque on it saying Commander Berrickson. Can't miss it.
All right, we go up and I'll rap on the door with the end of my quarterstaff.
And see, come in. You can hear someone shout from inside the room.
Cool.
We enter.
Enter, and like the big creaking door, it is quite an ostentatious sort of plaque. Looks like a family coat of arms, and you can see the words like "born from his ear" on it. Probably, yeah, that's what you would assume. He's probably Azerite in heritage.
As is often the case with the rich families of these towns and cities.
So you can see he's sitting at his desk, just sort of working his way through mountains of paperwork. You can see these forms, and Captain of the Guard is obviously not as glamorous a job as it seems. Doesn't appear to be doing much guarding, but a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
He goes, he looks up and he's like, my friends, what can I do for you?
Commander Berrickson, we had a few questions that we were looking to bring to the Council of 100. Would you happen to have any contacts on the council that we can get access to that meeting tomorrow?
Well,
we understand there's a meeting happening tomorrow in the council.
Well, I sit on seat number 78. Unfortunately, I'm not one of the first 20 seats, so I'm not allowed to bring outside guests. But I can certainly see if I can make some arrangements to potentially try and curry favor with one of my friends to get you in.
Well, it would be in the town's best interest to let us in, I think.
Oh, without a doubt. However, the Council of 100 is not something that just happens. If I were to just bring people in, I could jeopardize my own seat upon the council.
Oh, well, of course, we wouldn't want you to do that, but you may want to press upon them that we do really need to speak with them.
Most certainly. I'll make a note and hopefully make some arrangements. Perhaps your Stormcast friend might be able to talk into the Lord Castellant, letting him make the meeting.
Indeed. Where's the Lord Castellant at the moment?
He'll be in the Stormkeep, right?
He would most certainly be in the Stormkeep, which
good.
sits at the topper end of the city, effectively the other end of the city.
We just came from there.
Also, I just wanted to point out to you that Anvil has been very helpful in his duties last night and today, so you just keep an eye on that young one. He's destined for great things.
He is such a good young lad. Not too shabby for a redeemed.
Oh.
I don't know that I like your tone, Commander.
We've had many redeemed within our ranks, and many of them do not have the application of mind and body to achieve much more than their current line status. But Anvil, there's something special about him. He's hardworking and an honest young lad.
Certainly. I wouldn't say that it's a trait of the Azerites to be hardworking.
Oof.
Well, we can all have our opinions on that, but I have work to do, and as a hard-working Azerite myself, I must ask you leave so I can get back to it.
So be it.
Oh. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, Commander. Do not be so worried about those who are a bit fiery in their tempers.
It's just but the redeemed blood running through their veins.
Oh, I'm gonna make I'm gonna make a mind check just to try and smooth things over with a little bit of diplomacy as before we leave.
You see cinders starting to like flicker in my hair.
445. So, look, if I understand, quaint beliefs in towns and things don't always mesh with the more fiery of us, sending a shot across at someone. But we do thank you. We do appreciate everything you do for this town. Thank you very much. And we'll take our leave. And I sort of force certain people out the door.
Yes, thank you. Without you, Azarites, we would be lost.
Oh.
We would never have come back from
Stop.
You can just see as he keeps saying more words. At this point, he sort of just flings the gun butt at your backside and just get. Tiara just sort of jabs in the gun butt into your back and just sort of see
out the door.
Yeah, as we walk away, I just say to the party that we can't let these Azarites just come waltzing in, assuming that they own the place. We're the ones that defended the realms, whilst the gods and mortals were hiding away in their prison in Azerheim. They don't deserve our worship or our veneration.
Do you ever think anything you don't voice?
I don't recall if I have ever done so. No, I don't think so.
Who answers that question?
The bickering of children.
Careful, Oberon. You're not much better than these Azarites.
Says one who can't be more than, 30 years old? I've been fighting the forces of chaos long before your father was a twinkle in his grandfather's eye.
Oh. At which point, Tiara sort of takes a few steps ahead of the others and heads towards the bar.
You can see, yeah.
Nearest drinking establishment.
That would be. You can see the mess hall for the guards. You can see these giant tankards.
No, we're not going there. No,
we don't have time for drinking anymore. As much as I would like another fire whiskey, I think it may have gotten to my temper.
Possibly.
It was definitely either that or that damn Azarite.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's possibly only the Happy Hunter Inn that has that, seeing as he said it was something special. So you might have to visit him again if you're after some more of that.
Yeah, he's hooked me up.
Well, it'll be a while, presumably, before we hear. Or are we heading straight to the Stormkeep?
I think we head over to the Stormkeep to speak to the Castellan. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I would be happier.
Not my area.
I would be happier seeing some more of those who are a little more level-headed than some. So I just sort of start leading the way.
Let's see, as Oberon sort of strides out of the barracks sort of quarters around the building. Quite happy about where he's going to go. You do know that the Stormkeep within the city belongs to the Stormhost known as the Defenders of Azir. Their resplendent blue and gold armor. A Stormhost renowned for not necessarily being the most aggressive in any of the Realmgate Wars, but they are a Stormhost that was well known for defending many of the Realm Gates within Garan.
Oh.
So, very much the Stormhost that holds what is already claimed and makes sure the enemy does not get it. A little bit less glorious than others, but those who know them know that their deeds are probably just as important as those actually doing the claiming.
Mm.
In the eyes of Sigmar, there is no unworthy task.
Well, that's how Oberon sees it. The other of you are probably not as excited about this Stormhost as you might be others to meet.
Oh.
There's certainly no Hallowed Knights or Hammers of Sigmar.
As we're walking up the mountain towards the Stormkeep, I'm regaling Oberon of how when I was passing through Hammerhole Aksha, I met the castellan of the Hammers of Sigmar and spoke to him on several occasions, and he was the one that granted me access through the Realm Gate, and how I regale him of some of the tales of the Hammers of Sigmar and their victories in the first striking into the Realm of Fire.
Yes, a noble chamber, although a little bit overrated sometimes.
Oh.
It's probably worth noting that Oberon, his own chamber, was one of the first chambers to be part of the first strike as well, the Lions of Sigmar. Alongside the Hallowed Knights and Anvils of the Helden Hammer, were the first 4 chambers to strike down.
I thought the Lions of Sigmar were
first striking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We just don't we just don't boast our deeds as loudly as some others may.
So, as you're making your way, you can see that in your time in the barracks, the city has definitely come to life now. The streets are much more full with people. You can see so many different races of people, from elves and dwarven and humans to just a mix within those as well, from wanderers and to dark elf to more highborn looking elves to even these weird sort of elven monks wearing these sort of bullish stone looking robes. And all things beside, you can see overhead that there are now beginning to be airships floating over the city, both Caradron and giant sky cutters of the elves as well. And even the weird sort of, not quite so elegant as the sky cutters of the more highborn races, but definitely not as mechanically sound as the Caradron, these weird sort of mid-class vessels that probably belong to the humans.
Oh.
You can see the rain is still coming down as ever.
The ingenuity of the other races never ceases to amaze me when they don't have lightning teleportation available to them.
Yes, we can't all be lightning ghosts, my friend.
Oh, well, some of us have rope, apparently.
You can see. And so you continue to make your way. You walk past the market district and you can see it's crowded, beyond crowded in there now. There's so many stalls, and the smells are just absolutely divine, from whether you can smell the salted pork or roast beefs or meats hanging to the weird and exotic perfumes and scents of various parts of Guran. It certainly is a realm that your senses get every bit explored with. And so you continue to make your way back up, taking sort of a slightly different direction, not going quite as inward to the city as you do to get to the Happy Hunter Inn, but rather going to the more outside part of the mountain. You can see the Stormkeep overhead, just sort of resting on a cliff face overhanging the ocean.
Awesome.
And your quadriceps all of you are starting to feel your quads beginning to be that little bit fiery. You're still not quite used to how many steps there are within this city.
I would imagine Kitty's quads are quite often fiery.
Almost exclusively fiery quads, yeah. They're very well developed.
So yeah, you're definitely getting that little bit achy. You can see the steps are definitely getting harder and harder, and they're only getting steeper and steeper the closer you get to the Stormkeep, until you start to take steps where there's no city around you anymore, and you're starting to sort of climb up the cliff face now to reach the Stormkeep, known as the Sea Bastion.
Okay.
And so you can see this structure just hanging on this cliff face above the city, sort of almost like overlooking the rest of the city, on this cliff that hangs both over the city and over the ocean that it goes onto. You can see the banners of this regal blue and gold, mixed with like a slight bit of green, obviously for the city they protect in Hallowforge, the colours of green, or Realm of Life. You can see it's just this perfectly made structure. Everything about it looks just perfect. You could not fault it. Even Tiara's golden Dwarden eyes can't see any fault of it. It's probably made by your own people, to be fair, though, as well.
Does it look like it was made around the time of the rest of the city, or before or after?
It definitely looks like the way it overhangs the rest of the city, it does look a little bit out of place from the rest of the city, as if this was probably put here as the foundation for where the city now sits. It's sort of like this leering guardian spirit, and you can see this giant statue of Sigmar on the side walls of the Stormkeep that overhangs and watches over the entire city. This 25 foot tall statue of Sigmar just overlooking onto the city.
As we approach the statue, I just gently touch it and say a small prayer under my breath the others don't hear.
Yeah. And so you make your way, and you can see as you begin to approach, you can hear the trumpet sound. And the Stormkeep gates are already opening for you.
I'll take some time to admire the craftsmanship and things like that on the way in.
Just everything about this just amazes you from a craftsmanship sort of perspective. It's just so perfectly built. You couldn't find fault with it if you tried.
And I'm like, oh, what a beautiful, humble little keep.
Yes, it is certainly not as resplendent as some of those, especially Kadir himself has seen the Stormkeeps, both of the Hallowed Knights and the Hammers of Sigmar within both sides of Hammerhall, both Garai and Akshi. And they are, especially the Hammers of Sigmar Stormkeep within Hammerhall Akshi, is something to behold.
Yeah, surrounding the entire action side of the realm gate is quite a sight. This one's fine too.
And as you make a what is the test for looking in this? I've been playing other games in the past. Awareness. I've been playing other RPGs in the meantime to stay on
Got 3 successes.
As you look out, you can see just on the ocean, you can see this sort of arch structure on this island out in the middle of the ocean. It's barely in view, but you can see the island has some fortifications around it as well. This is sort of fortified island with a glowing arch in the middle of it. Since you saw it, you can make a law check.
Excellent. Would Arcana help as well, or just law?
Just law.
All right. 4.
So you do know that is one of the realm gates out of the city. It is set on an island just out into the ocean, and quite heavily fortified.
Is it fortified in the same way as the Stormkeep? It's got the same kind of architecture?
Yeah, it is really well fortified. You do know that is one of your primary ways out of the city, and that realm gate goes to the realm of death.
That's a delightful place.
Hopefully we don't need to send ourselves through that monstrosity. And
so you can see the storm as you enter the Stormkeep. Many of the stormcast just sort of do a twin-tailed sign there. Yes, that is the sign of Sigmar. Twin-tailed comet across their heart. It actually is the sign of Sigmar across their heart.
I return the greeting and, hail brothers and sisters.
You can see a mixture of many different sort of stormcasts. You can see there's more lightly armored vanguard hunters and paladors tending to their griff charger mounts, while more heavily armored paladins look after these weird-looking draconian creatures known as Dracoffs. And even some of your own fellow, companions of learning and sacrosanct warriors of sequitors and evocators. There seems to be quite a mix of Stormcast within here.
Oberon, you know the inner workings of a Stormkeep. Lead us the way
Yes,
up
sir.
to the Castellant.
Over to you, my friend.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry,
You go. No, you go.
I was just going to say very well and start striding towards the heart of the chambers.
Yeah, knowing full well that the Castellan will be right in the middle of the keep. While Celestins do, like Oberon does know, while Celestins do lead the Storm hosts, it is very like the Castellans are the ones responsible for maintaining the Storm keeps, as their name would suggest. And so you make your way through. Many other Stormcasters just don't even bother paying attention. They know if you're another Stormcaster's in their quarters, he's here for business, and you'll see who you want to see. Very so structured. Many of them just simply, if they want to make greeting, just do so, making the sign of Sigmar on their heart.
Obviously, I'll return it and greet them as warmly as you can when you're sort of covered in plate and robes.
Yeah, some will, some won't. You can see Stormcast, some in their armor, some out of their armor, and more like tabard sort of clothings. Until you finally make your way and you can see the ant chamber that sits within the center of the Stormkeep, and the Castellan sitting at a sort of curved table, having some discussions with a skull-helmed figure to his left, and a armored figure wielding like this like sort of magical sort of staff next to him as well.
So I'm guessing. Sorry, I was going to say. I'm guessing is one is one a Lord Exorcist.
Yes, one is a Lord Exorcist, and the other one is most obviously a Lord Relictor.
Awesome. As we approach, I just greet the three lords, and obviously show my respect to both them and to Sigmar.
And they make the sign of Sigmar across their chest and go, "Hail, brother."
Hail. We've myself and my two soulbound companions have been sent here to gather up the pieces of the god beast, the shattered god beast. So far, we found one relic off defended and fought for with Skaven. And when we returned to the city, we found that deep within the sewers, Skaven were fighting at first what we thought to be, wild men, but it appears to be some sort of cult. From what we've gathered, we believe that they may be part of the Burning Eye cult, and we pull out the two masks and lay it down for their inspection.
See, the Lord Castellan looks at them and just sort of looks at the Exorcist, and you can see the Lord Exorcist shake his head. And the Lord Exorcist responds to you. These are not masks, or not anything I remember of the Burning Eye cult. I remember fighting them before my last reforging in the fights. I lost my life. Or that life anyway. Fighting them down in the depths of the dockyards. But this looks nothing like what I remember of them.
What can you tell us of the Burning Eye cult then, Great Lord?
So the Burning Eye cult were a cult devoted to the Chaos God Tzeentch.
Oh.
Did they have any identifying features?
Generally golden, leering, cackling masks, shaped like moons sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Because when we removed these masks from the bodies, we found they had a third eye in the center of their forehead, which led us to believe that it may be this Burning Eye cult, maybe reborn, or maybe a sister cult.
That is entirely possible, but yes. This was my sacrosanct chamber that delved down into the depths of the city and tried to exterminate them, but we were vanquished. You can see his pause in his words. Didn't know quite what to say about how he passed. But let's not talk any more about that.
Yeah. There must be quite a substantial force, Lord Castellan, if they were able to defeat a force of Eternals.
That they were. You can see. Just sort of. Castellan responds. They were quite fearsome, and it is quite a stain upon our good city's honour that a cult of such magnitude was able to come under our very nose and infiltrate the city.
Can you tell us anything of this forsaken hero? We've heard rumours from the common people, but obviously if your chamber was here through that time, you will be able to enlighten us much better.
Naught but rumours. There is no forsaken hero. Only a traitor.
Who was this traitor? Surely your records hold.
Unfortunately, that is information we do not wish to disclose, not even with our brothers.
Our main reason for coming here was to first of all warn you of this cult that we believe we may have stumbled across, whether it's the Burning Eye or another. Clearly it represents a threat to this city. With them coming up through the sewers, it could be quite dangerous, particularly seeing it as they were attacking during the siege by the Skaven. We were hoping that you would allow us to come along to the Council of 100 and possibly speak to them, both on our task and the threat of this cult.
Certainly. I would be glad to have... He looks over at the Lord Exorcist looks over at both Kadir and Tiara, soulbound at the council.
Yes.
I say thank you, my lord, and make the symbol of... You can't even see there. Make the symbol of Sigmar to them both. Well, all three of them, I should say.
And so you have an access to the council now.
All right. Well, I guess we head back to the inn, to the Happy Hunter Inn. Now that we've got our ticket into the council.
Before we do, I just ask them if they have a host of night incanters held up here as well.
I do have many night incanters under my my leadership here. Most of them are out doing various jobs around the city or inspecting particular aspects of the mountain, looking for pools of power.
Perhaps in a few quieter moments, I may speak with and counsel with some of my brethren.
Most certainly. You are always welcome here, brother.
Thank you, wise lord.
Whilst we have your attentions, do you know anything of the god beast Aquatine, who is known to create the weather around this mountain?
Aquatine is an interesting one. Even to us Stormcast, who have lived some tens of 20s of even hundreds of lives in this free city, the god beast Aquatine is still something many of us do not know if it is real or just something of the imagination. It is known in the first strikings of the city that it is said that Aquatine helped cleanse the lands from the Nurgle's taint. But not much more than that is known about the god beast. If she does or does not exist, it's not something we have any facts to sort of prove.
All right. Thank you for your attention, Says.
And so you can see the three of them go back to their own private conversation as you exit the room.
Cool.
And so you've got your access into the chamber, into the council now. You've still got a decent half of your day left.
I'd like to go to, presumably there's an armory of some type.
Yeah. In the Storm Keep you're talking about?
No, just in, not that I don't want the Stormcast stuff. I just want to go and have a... Yeah.
No one could have
I'm going to go there. They're too big for you.
Yeah, so yeah. Well, I'm more interested in just doing a bit of work and getting on my rifle and getting some bullets cast and stuff. And I don't really think the Stormcast are going to be able to accommodate that.
No, most of them do not. So you're looking for like probably a black someone who specializes in black powder or something of that description. You'll probably find something at least around the market district. It's probably the best bet, but you don't know anywhere in particular. Maybe you might know somewhere around the inn. Alfred might know something of interest to you, perhaps.
Yeah. Well,
you know the man's been through quite a bit in his years.
Well, let's just make I'll make a mind check just to try and talk to some of the locals and ask for directions.
As you're walking through the town.
So 436.
436. One of the you stop and you can see that there's this fine elven lady. She's got what appears to be quite a nice, intricate-looking rifle upon her back.
Well, my lady, that's a fantastic-looking rifle. Compliments on the workmanship there.
Oh, why, thank you. It was crafted by my grandfather.
Does your grandfather work in the town?
He does not. However, I can see you have a nice looking armament of your own. I'd recommend checking out Brock's Gunnery, the Duarden there. Though can be a bit what's the best way to describe him?
Duardenish?
I didn't want to say it, but it's accurate.
Not a problem. I'm used to it. Couldn't be any worse than dealing with Akshi and wizards.
Maybe it's more of a men thing.
Can you direct me to Brock's?
So if you go down past the Sleeping Well Inn, just by the marketplace, you'll find his shop just behind it. It's sort of hidden away a little bit, but if you sort of go down one of the side alleys next to the inn, you'll find it.
Well, thank you very much. Maybe sometime we can head to a range and practice together.
Most certainly. And she just sort of carries on her way up the steps.
Well, I'm off to the weaponsmith guides. I don't know what you want to do.
Well, if you're seeking out trinkets and tending to your gear, I believe I'll spend some more time at the Stormhost and spend it in prayer to Sigmar and also talking with my fellow compatriots.
So we'll meet back at the pub this evening.
Indeed.
Sounds like a plan. I think I'm just gonna go for a wander through the streets and just listen out for the what's the zeitgeist of the city at the moment? What are the people feeling? What are they talking about? What's the chatter going around town?
Yep. Cool. So we'll follow Oberon first, seeing as he's the closest location to get to where he wants. And so you decide to stay at the Stormkeep while your fellows sort of continue down the pathway. You can see there's the small fortifications going on the cliff as well. As you pass the cliff, like there's these little fortifications going up to the main Stormkeep. You can see there's the Liberators manning every part of it, along with Judicators, and whether they're armed with giant bows or they're more crossbow weapons, Cellstar Ballista emplacements across the lines of it as well. But you want to go probably into the libraries to make way to find your fellow studious Stormcast.
Yep.
And you can see the library you enter. It's huge. There's books that probably won't be in any normal commoner's library. you can see books that would scare mere mortals out of their boots.
Is there someone tending to the library who's, for instance, the head librarian or whoever's been, put in charge of looking after it all?
Yeah, you can see there is a knight in Cantor just sort of wandering through the bookshelves, just taking out certain books, reading, and then putting them back, taking out scrolls, looking for a couple of words, and then putting it back, and all the while writing down their own sort of paper at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to approach them and greet them.
So you approach the Stormcast, and she turns around to you. You see her, "Greetings, brother," as she makes the symbol upon her chest. To what pleasure do I honor the presence of a line of Sigmar within my hallowed halls?
Greetings, sister. And I make the symbol back. I've been sent here with a few soulbound companions to seek out items of the god beast.
You can see like a spark flicker in her eyes as she's rather intrigued by this.
If you want later, maybe I could introduce them to you if that is something of your interest.
I would most certainly love to meet Soulbound. It's not something you see every day.
No, they are quite a rarity and have proven their worth once or twice so far. So later this evening, if you'd like to accompany me back to the Humble Inn, I'll give you a chance to meet them. However, in the meantime, I was hoping to go through your library here if that was amenable to you.
Most certainly. Anything in particular that strikes your fancy?
Well, I'm always looking to hone my spells. However, particularly god beasts at the moment seem to keep coming up in this line of work and in these duties we hold. So anything on god beasts, both here and of other realms, would be of great assistance.
Let me see what I've got. There are many books relating to the myths about Aquitaine that we have. There's always an interesting story to read about Aquitaine and the city. You can see she's sort of just flickering through books. She's like, "Ooh, this one's interesting. Behemoth and his fool, the great god beast Ignax."
These all sound like great tomes. Do you have any also on the Beast King?
Yoshirak. Let me see. You can see her. She starts looking on a shelf, but she's not touching this shelf for some reason. You see her just sort of. I'll have to make arrangements with the Lord Exorcist to gain access to this.
Very good.
But
start again. If this is going to take a short while, maybe I'll wait here and read through some other tomes. Or do you think it's something that I may need to come back for in a few days?
You can probably read a few of the tomes. I should be able to find him quite easily.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
In the meantime, this shelf here should help you with your interest into the god beasts. You can see binders saying things like Volcatrix and Behemoths and Ignax.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll probably mostly look at the one for this realm first of all in the city, particularly because it's something that keeps piquing Kadir's interest, and maybe that might help him, quell his curiosity type thing.
Yep. So definitely Aquitaine, and you also know to pick up the stuff on Behemoth because he was a god beast within the realm of Guran.
Cool. Do I need to take a test or anything to see what I find, or?
We'll come back to you.
Easy.
In a minute. Yeah, give you some. So we'll go with Tiara next. And sort of Kadir's one is the less sort of focused job. So Tiara, you find the inn of which the elf within the street had led you towards, or pointed you towards at least. You do notice like there's this really sort of dingy looking alley around the side, and a doorway sort of ramshackled building to the side. You're like, That
Okay.
might be it.
I'll just head on in.
You can see as you open it, you can. The door it creaks and it stinks. It's a musky sort of stink in here. But it also smells like smoke, very thick smoke, and there's almost a cloud of it covering the top layer of the room. If anyone but a Dwarden walked in, they might get a face full of it. But your diminutive stature is favourable in this particular moment.
Well, I will in Dwarden. Anyone here?
Hey, I'll be around soon. You can see this Dwarden just covered in armor, top to toe, goggles on the top of the head. And you can see him just sort of flicks up his helmet. He's unmistakably a Caradron overlord. What can I do for you, fine lass?
And all of this, I assume we're speaking in Dwarden.
Yeah, you're completely speaking in Dwarden to each other.
I'll get out the rifle and place it on the counter. I need some ammunition for this. It's served me well. Help me out.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fine weapon for one not made by the great Caradron.
No, well, I mean, you've got something better.
Give me a sec. So, what can you?
I think it's largely cosmetic and rules wise, but.
So, what exactly are you looking for?
Well, range and stopping power, really.
I might have something. Let's have a look. You can see him sort of flicker through different shelves and stuff, and come apart and just sort of. These might be good. And you can see him pull off and give these sort of. These are Shishin shells. Sort of erupt with a brang of light when they hit the target.
Oh, excellent. How much?
Or let's say 50 drops.
50? Ooh, I don't know. Tell you what, I'll give you 35.
40.
37?
Deal.
Excellent. I'll hand over the drops, get out the pipette and drop. We're going to be in town for a few days. I might drop in and see what else I can snag off you.
Yeah, without a shot.
Good day to you, my friend.
Good day.
And I'll head out and fondling my new exciting bits.
Sounds good. And so, with that, you exit the shop. Sorry about that. We've had a little bit of some weird sort of comments pop in one of the chats.
So weird sort of.
Yeah, we'll leave that. Anyway, so that's all dealt with. Anyway, on to Kadir.
Yeah,
So
I'm just wandering through the market center that we passed a couple of times on our way back and forth through the city. Just going for a wander around, acting interested in all the wares of the people in the market stalls, but not really looking to buy, more looking to hear what the people are talking about and if there's any rumors going around.
Yeah, so we'll go for, let's have a look. What do we want to... go for an awareness check, just trying to pick up sounds and stuff around the city.
Yep, would that be mind awareness?
Yes, certainly.
2 successes.
Cool. So you can hear like people are like talking about like, oh, do you hear there's still rats under the city? And that is generally quite a lot of the chatter is still about rats walking under the city. And I saw a rat in the corner of my room the other day. Do you think they're under my house? And like the city guard aren't going to get them all. There's too many of them. They're never going to get them all.
Cool. All right. Well, if that's all I'm sort of hearing, that's probably fine. I know that the rat folk invasion is being dealt with by the city guard, and the Stormkeep is aware of it as well. So I guess I'll head back over to the inn. Just going through some of the side streets again. Like if I'm sort of passing anyone, I'll linger for their conversation. But yeah, just carrying on back to the what was it called again? The Happy Hunter Inn in Alfred.
Yeah. So you'll head back to the Happy Hunter Inn, and so just Alfred's there, and he's like, "Oh, is it time for dinner for you lot already?"
Certainly getting that way, Alfie. I'll have another fire whiskey.
Fire whiskey it is. You can see him once again just reach underneath the bar and just pull out another one of the bottles and just pour you another glass of your fire whiskey.
Thank you kindly, sir. I take it over to our usual booth, take a seat and take a swig, get the little sparks going in the glint in my eyes as the warmth starts to sort of course through me. And I guess I'll also order from one of the barmaids as they walk past. I'll ask them to bring us some pies for dinner.
Awesome. And you can say, "Oh, that should be nice." I think. What did the daughter cook tonight? I think she cooked his. What did she say? I think it was ice fowl.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Ice fowl pie. Love it.
A nice sort of, ice fowl is this weird sort of, I would say it's a long neck sort of turkey looking creature that lives atop the Everpeak. They're quite common. And do make for quite a nice eaten meal. And
Cool.
so you're soon joined by your companions so Oberon, you got a good piece of information and given a book about Gusharak from your Incantor friends. So you come in with this book underneath your arm, and another book talking about Aquatine just for your friend here.
Excellent. Is the librarian accompanying me as well?
Yep, she's come with you.
Mm-hmm. I assume during this time I've talked to her and found out her name and such.
So her name is Bordesta.
Bordesta? All right.
Bordesta.
And so far it's just Kadir at the table?
No, Tiara, you can see, as you sort of approach, Tiara's there as well.
Oh.
She's got what she wants.
Cool. So as I come in, I point to my two companions sitting down that I assume have started cracking into their ice fowl, and introduce them to Bordesta and vice versa. Let them know that she's been quite helpful in obtaining these books on some of the god beasts, and hand one over to Kadir, but saying that he'll have to answer to her if anything happens to that book while it's in his keep.
Not to
and
worry,
just
Jester. I'll take care of it.
and just let them know that she was interested in to talk to them about the soul binding process, and that she was keen to meet them.
Oh, happy to have a talk.
Join us for a fire whiskey.
Mm.
And she's like, why not? She picks one of the fire whiskies and sips it back. You can see like the surprise in her face. And she's like, that feels like a Dracos breath.
Ooh.
Isn't it glorious? Reminds me of home.
Ah, so I would take by that statement you would be from Akshi then.
Yes, the burning sun as it bakes your skin to the core. I miss it.
I've never been to Akshi. I've never been to many of the realms yet, actually, to be fair. Most of my time has been spent either in Azir or here in Garan.
Oh. Just try and get to Haish if you can. Lovely place.
Ah, yes. You've recently made contact with some figures within the city in Haish.
Oh, really? Oh. That's nice. I grew up there.
Oh. Perhaps you might know of these elves known as the Lumineth.
Oh, yes.
They're certainly
not,
interesting.
Yeah, they're not the most accommodating people. Tend to keep to themselves.
It always would be intriguing talking to someone other than the Lumineth who lives in Haish. They seem to be quite secular people.
Yes, but don't take them as a sample of all of us.
But yes, so you just continue your chat long into the night, and you regale tales of the binding and your reforging. Right, not your reforging. The Soulbound forging and your exploits and how you you feel being a Soulbound and the connection you two share to the lady and Cantor. And so we go deep into the night of the thing, and that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Cool.
We'll
Awesome.
have the next session going into the Council of 100.
Sounds good.
Sick.
All right. So that's going to be the end of our show for the night. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you all again in 2 weeks. Definitely 2 weeks this time, providing no one else gets sick. So, yes, we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Don't forget to like the video, follow us on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, whatever. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well. And most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. We'll see you all again real soon. Ciao for now.
Bye.
Perfect.
No, team.